Hello! How's it going, guys? Welcome to Oye Cinema Club. Today, we're going to be reviewing the movie Fool's Paradise, directed, written, and starring Charlie Day. I picked this movie because it was a movie that actually won Cinema Club cast member Dino Spizzini, the wild Paraguayan, actually told me to watch it, and I just kept it on the shelf for a while and a while and a while, and I said, you know what? Let's pick that movie so we can all watch it and review it together like a lovely family. But I'm not here alone. I'm here with the lovely Andrea. And we also have our illustrious guests. We have Marina. We have Jason Eccles. And we have Dino filming his true TV show, Racing Against Bear Girls or something. So we are going to be discussing Fool's Paradise. And before we get started with my initial thoughts, I want to know what y'all's initial thoughts first was. So I want to start with you. Yeah, you, Marina. What was your
So it's one of those movies I wish I would have watched a preview first because I had no idea what was gonna come my way. And almost instantly I was like, what the heck is going on around here? It was like a silent movie mixed with series of unfortunate events. Like I was just like, what is happening? Like, but I was surprisingly really entertained. Like usually stuff that's a little chaotic, I'm just like, oh gosh. But I could not stop watching this silent train wreck. It was just so hilarious, especially being in the entertainment industry, like some of the things that were happening when he kind of got involved in Hollywood. It was just so funny. I don't know if they were trying to be deep or I was just a little wine drunk, but like how nobody listens to you anyways. So in Hollywood, I don't know. I feel like it had me thinking a lot, and I don't even know if that was like the point of this movie, but it was also really really funny. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much my first impressions.
Thank you so much, Marina. Let's go with El Dondino.
Hello, hello. Well, thanks for putting me on the spot there that I recommended this to you. I'll take that as a win. Uh, I actually saw this in the theaters. I kind of knew about it just from listening to It's Always Sunny podcast and Charlie Day talking about it and stuff like that. And, I was interested in watching it. And I I saw it and I really liked it. And it's had so many mixed reviews. And I just think people are either going to love it or hate it. And I think if you're in the industry or around the industry, you're going to love it. I also saw it in the theaters with group of friends that were also in theater and movies and stuff like that. And we all really enjoyed it. We were laughing and stuff like that. So, first time watching it, I really enjoyed it and can't wait to discuss more about it.
Thank you so
I
much,
didn't see
Dino.
it at all. I just want to put that out there. I did not see the film, but I'm here to listen and I'm here to learn. I might pop in and out. We'll see what happens, but I will watch the movie. I'm real sorry about that.
No worries. We appreciate that you're here because you're a very pivotal person for here to give the perspective and also ask the questions that someone that would like to perhaps watch this movie do. But I'm assuming the people that do watch this review are people that already watched the movie, or perhaps they're thinking about watching it. So let's go with Andre.
Well, for me, it was first time watching the movie as well. I enjoyed it. I think it was like, well, it was very impressed that Charlie Day positioned himself in being like the director, the writer, and starring in the movie. So I admire that from him. I enjoyed the cinematography, being in the industry. It was nice to have those inside jokes with what a set is being like and all the roles. So it was a was a nice movie. It was funny where the parts where it needed to be funny and the drama too. So I enjoyed it.
Thank you so much, Andrea. And now my first impressions, initial thoughts. First time watching this movie, I didn't have the most high of expectations, but I did have some expectations just because it is a film that a person is writing, directing, and also starring in. And it's something that I look at that type of originality with like high regard. And honestly, I think I did a great job in what it was. And me being also like a Charles Chaplin fan and like that type of comedy, I think it was an amazing rendition that this movie did in so many aspects. I can't wait to talk about like favorite characters and moments and things like that because I can recall so many like amazing feel good moments, and it's just like to me it felt like a very feel good comedy. It's a comedy that you can watch with like your kids, with your family, and it's like acceptable for all audiences. And it was cool because it had very laugh out loud moments, but it had very tame also like nice little jokes and things like that, and it just kept evolving. And also the cameos were very amazing, in my opinion, for so many people. Like it really drew a lot of strengths in a lot of these supporting roles as well. But anyway, before we I get to keep talking about this film, I want to know for you guys, first of all, is there something in particular that you want to discuss before I get into my mumbo jumbo?
Well, I kind of just want to let you go with the flow and I'll see if it's different from what I'm thinking. I definitely want to talk about favorite characters and like favorite silly moments, but I'm sure that's what you want to talk about.
For
I don't
sure.
have anything in particular to talk about, so I'm game.
Jason, what about you? There's something you want to know about this movie to like sell it to you.
I'll let you know as questions arise.
Okay. What about you, Andre?
Let's get to the silly moments.
Okay, let's get to the silly moments. So there were a lot of silly moments in this film, um, and I want to know what were y'all favorite silly moments. Let's start with you, Marina. You're on mute.
Sorry. There were so many. I don't even know if I had just one. Um, but if I can narrow it down, I really like I can always mess up his last name. Jason Sudeikis. Is that his last name? Sudeikis.
Jason
Sudeikis.
Sudeikis.
Sudeikis. I was never gonna guess that. I liked I really liked their dynamic with Charlie Day. Like, first of all, it took me like 10 minutes to even realize that was him. I was like, who is this guy in this mansion? With like, I was like, what's happening? And I think when,
Clearly Tom Cruise.
huh?
It was clearly Tom Cruise.
Yeah, exactly. um, but just like the whole, again, I really liked anytime the movie kind of talked about Hollywood and like some of the cons to it. Like he just played like a really good character, um, to kind of show you like that douchebag in Hollywood. Like um, the lady who answered the door, I really don't even understand what her role was, but she told Charlie or Latte Pronto to take off his shoes, and then when Jason came out, aka Lex, he had shoes on. I was just like, that's so, it's just like so the hypocrisy in Hollywood is just like it's even the little things like that. But just like their whole situation was hilarious to me when he went over to his house. And then second thing that I really liked, it reminded me of a meme I just saw where it was like LA is the only place where someone will criticize you on your diet and then proceed to take to like do some coke. And there was like that small scene where they were doing that. They were talking about like, oh, I'm on this diet, I'm doing this and I'm doing that, and then just like doing coke on the table. And I was just like, yep, this is LA.
Thank you for that, Marina. Let's go with you, Dino.
There are, to me, it's hard to think of one bit in particular, but like the Jason Sudeikis, didn't he have like his own guru or something like that living there? Oh no, the wife, right? Oh man, yeah, I'm getting it all jumbled up. Let's just start at his name, the fact that he's a mute. So for people that are maybe confused, his character's name ends up being Latte Pronto, and all because a director in a set starts yelling Latte Pronto because that's his drink, and Charlie Days, they're basically being used as a stand-in for another actor. And then people just assume his name is Latte Pronto. And that gag, the fact that it works, and it works for me, the whole movie is great. So let's go with the basic, the numero uno off the gate, Latte Pronto. Maybe because I was a barista for so long and probably will continue to be a barista for the end of eternity. Living in my tent, not a tent in Hollywood, but this is very, this also works with so many tents in Hollywood, which is sad, not funny, but tragedy and comedy. So, anyway,
When it comes to silly moments, I have to say that Andrea got the best one. So, Andrea, what are the silly moments that you?
I enjoyed Ken Jeong. ¿Cómo se llama? His performance. He's so funny in everything he does. So watching him perform and improvise some lines, it was very funny. Specifically, I enjoyed, not to give too many spoilers. We already know he's a mute. So in one conversation, he's having like a deep monologue and very emotional. And he's like, what does he say? He said, let me finish. Let me finish. I was like, this dude is so funny. Like, I don't know. I enjoyed his performance. Everything he does is amazing. What else was a silly moment? I am drawing a blank right now, but they had little bits that I enjoyed. Charlie Day, his physical comedy, that was the first thing I noticed. His physical comedy was brilliant, and the fact that he tried to direct and star and wrote it and had the vision that he had more participation. Like, he was very I think it was very ambitious. Like, this movie for him, I think it was very ambitious, and I hope that it achieved whatever his goal was. At the end, I was expecting a little bit more of a bittersweet ending, but it was nice how it ended, like in a happy way.
and can I just bring up also? It seems like we're kind of struggling to come up with moments, but the whole movie is just one after another bit.
Yeah.
And there's so much that is callbacks, and it's tied in, and like rule of three, rule of 29, rule of like kind of like it's funny three times and it's not funny, not funny, not funny, then it's funny again. And so the whole movie has that, and they're like small things, small mannerisms. And so it's really tough bringing that up. But when you start talking about it, it makes you think of the other ones.
Yeah, I just remembered the joke that he said. It was because his character, since he's mute, people. Oh, my earring just fell off. Okay, no, since he's a mute, he's like, he goes from place to place. He moves from. Ay, Dios mío. He moves from his initial state of like non-responsive, and then he like gets kicked out of this home, to not do a lot of spoilers. So he ends up in the streets, and then he gets into the set, and he's like, and they're like asking, oh, we just picked him up from the streets, and they're like, oh, so you're from the streets, like you're like a rugged, like the nuance in being like this white guy that's super clean cut, that's in this humble beginnings. He just got from the streets and is now on a movie set and is a major movie star and goes through these transitions of like uh being the movie star, getting married, doing this, doing the press, doing like it's a roller coaster of emotions that goes pretty quickly. So the the fact that he doesn't speak, the main character, it does not speak throughout the whole this, and he's like listening. That's one
Yeah.
part that resonated with me. He's just listening, and he's like a soundboard for everybody's emotions. So that's cool to see his power in his silence. Marina, you said it's a silence of tragedy. What was it? Was very poetic how you said it.
Well, no,
Like a
I will
silent.
take all the credit for that. That's actually like a book slash TV show, but a series of unfortunate events. Like it, it goes to what you say, like the constant, like everything was
Yeah.
something new. But in that book series, is about these three kids that are like trying to figure out if their parents died, and they keep getting in like different home situation, and it keeps getting worse and worse and worse. And there's someone trying to like kill them, and so and every time you think someone should save them, like something else bad happens. So it kind of reminded me of that. Like he just kept going in these situations where he never hit rock bottom, but it just was like, what is happening now? And it was
And I will say kind of the difference of that. Well, of like seeing his character is so pure that it doesn't feel like some of those like Meet the Parents or some of those comedies where it's all about just like shit happening to you, right? And no matter what, it's gonna keep on happening, and you're gonna feel horrible. He's so kind of this Chaplin-esque, this Buster Keaton kind of character that just you know can take it in, but isn't going to bother him. Sorry, there's rabbits and the dog is going crazy outside. Uh, but yeah, so I think that's kind of the difference, that you see everything through his eyes, because he does so well of like showing emotion, not so much with the smiling, but just like the eyes allows. And I think I enjoyed the talking about him being a soundboard to like Hollywood also is great,
Mhm.
because it just allows every single kind of stereotype of character. I mean, we haven't even mentioned Adrien Brody yet. So um yeah,
we haven't started talking about favorite characters yet.
I know. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
What
no,
about
the
you?
soundboard
Silly
thing
moment?
is. Oh,
Yeah. No, no, no.
I was
Go
just
for
saying
it.
the soundboard thing is a good point, and like it could go both ways. Like him being so soulless and things is great. Like he did an amazing job of not saying anything, but basically changing everybody's life in the movie for better
Mhm.
or worse. But also too, it kind of just like on the flip side, I feel like sometimes in Hollywood, like people don't want to hear you; they just want to talk to you. And it's just like it's kinda sad, like, that he's so successful because he's completely selfless. And everybody's just, like, traumatized.
And be able to manipulate. He's easy to manipulate because
Yeah,
he didn't respond. He was easy to go like he didn't follow instructions. He was just like right there, right place, right time.
yeah,
Very the
go with the flow, and
And
Mhm.
and not only is it like this commentary on Hollywood, but also on the healthcare of the United States, right? Because it starts with, that's the premise. He's dealing with something, and that's why he's a mute, and he's got some what we would assume is emotional trauma or whatever, and but there's no way of knowing like his name or healthcare or whatever. So it's like, yeah, this could probably be fixed with proper care and stuff like that, and it's going to take a lot of time. And it's like, oh, so what should we do? Let him off at the first bus stop in Hollywood, like
I love what he
that.
said, though. He said all this stuff. She was like, "Oh, well, that sounds great." He's like, "But the state's not about to pay for that." So,
Yeah.
that was just so true, like, how it all comes down to the money when people are struggling with mental health or physical health. Like, so many people are probably in worse shape because they couldn't get the proper care, and it coulda just been
And
fixed.
it's the commentary that they let him go. He's crazy. He's unstable, and then ends up in a Hollywood set what's that telling you? That the people that run in Hollywood are crazy and are
Yeah.
mentally unstable and are also in there for the money. So okay, it's
I
very
feel
like,
personally attacked. No, I'm kidding. No.
yo soy la primera. I'm
You
the
should
first
be.
one that
You
in
should
line.
be.
Andrea was like, wait, he's just getting in this random ass, what, was it Ferrari or whatever?
Who? The producer?
Charlie.
Latte.
Yeah,
R.I.P.
Yeah,
Ray
like,
Liotta.
yeah, like he got it. It was a very, but I said that without knowing that the character was, who he was, the character in the movie. But it was like he was right person in the right time. Like, oh wow, he got this random white guy to star in his movie, and was like, I thought it was that type of commentary, but no, that's what Steven is referring to, because obviously there's not as much opportunity for like people of color, brown people, black people. So that was my racialized idea.
Right.
and that's a great transition to what were your favorite cameos? I'm gonna start.
Common.
I was waiting for Common, man. I was waiting for that Common cameo. I was like, yo, where's Common gonna pop in? And he popped in the best way
Common popped in.
I could possibly imagine. I love that cameo. It's my favorite. Was one of my favorites for sure.
First off, probably one of the Ray Liotta's final movie, because apparently Charlie Dave reworked, like, this had been in the can like 5 years ago, maybe even more, and he's
That
kind of retouched it, reworked it, shot new stuff. So yeah, but I don't know, man. The one I didn't get, and we're Jason, you're gonna love this, but the fact that you're gonna end up watching this movie and like the cameos keep on coming. But John Malkovich? What,
No,
like,
I was gonna mention John Malkovich. That was a
But did you
great
guys
one.
like the scene or not? Because I just
I,
was a little.
I
I did.
did.
I liked it.
You did?
Yeah.
It was so random. I was just like, because I had to I rewound it. I'm like, maybe I didn't give it the right shot. Like, I'm like, let me just focus. And
I would love to see, like, I was gonna say behind the music, just like, but of the movie of like, was Charlie Day calling up all these friends, and or are
literally
they
how
all
I thought he got
friends?
Common.
Like,
well, I was like,
Common,
where's
like,
the whole cast of horrible bosses? Like the whole main three
right,
guys. I was like, okay, that's okay.
Jennifer
and
Aniston wasn't.
Well, that's why I said the three guys.
I
That's why I
mean,
credited myself.
and then he has his wife playing the hairdresser, and that's it.
Oh, which one's
But
his wife?
makeup
Why was the one with the red hair?
Red hair? Red hair?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, who is also the waitress in It's Always
Mary
Sunny.
Real quick question: was George Lopez actually in the movie?
Exacto.
I
Second.
think he was the Chihuahua.
Oh, she's on It's Always Sunny. Sorry, I got sidetracked.
Yeah,
I'm such a relationship stalker. I'm like, ooh, who's this
Yeah.
lady? Mary
No,
Elizabeth.
but George Lopez did not make an appearance. Again, I know that they mentioned George Lopez, but I didn't see him.
I
Yeah.
can't remember.
Look in the credits, it said like an appearance by George Lopez. I was like, where?
Huh.
Well, interesting because even like on IMDb, it's blank. It just says George Lopez.
Can you
blank.
say IMDb again?
Huh?
That might be.
I
A,
am.
I'm never gonna
You're
say
like,
it again now.
IMDb. I love it. Yeah.
no, but
Well,
I honestly think, in my heart, I think it was a joke because they mentioned how like George Lopez's career is dead, basically.
So maybe that's what they needed. George Lopez said, if I'm not gonna appear, I need a credit. So
okay.
I want to be there.
So I enjoyed like the fact that, like, the Malkovich thing, that he got actors to be in one scene, right, and do, like, you're gonna get an 8-minute monologue, like bring your A game, bring the master class of just like, we'll write this for you and you can just ham it up, go to town, and it was great. Because again, the paranoia, right? There's all this moment of like, people can use and abuse you if you don't speak up, if you don't say no, you can get promoted and all that. And then at a certain point,
Get sued, you
then
get arrested. Yeah.
yeah, and at a certain point, then they start getting paranoid because you aren't saying anything, right? And what do you know? And what are you gonna say? So it's like this again, full circle just of whatever. And again, the idea, right? Like him being picked up and like you're great is literally because he's the exact carbon copy of a actual like superstar, megastar, which is him,
But
and that's it.
I, I also love the
Mm.
part of after even that they put someone that was didn't look like him, but
Uh,
just had similar, like very little similar qualities. Going like,
Oh,
yo,
Younger.
everybody's replaceable. Like you're replaceable out here.
he was the PA, wasn't he? Wasn't he the
A
PA at
stand-in, a
one point?
stand-in. He was
The
his stand-in.
stand-in, yeah.
Yeah, who's just younger, a younger version of him.
Yeah,
Something I found interesting. Did it feel like to you guys like it was kind of hard to figure out what year it was? Like some
I think
scenes seemed a little older and some scenes felt like today. I don't know. I was really confused in what year this was based on.
I think the George Lopez joke, it was what put me like it was maybe 2000. When was he not here? Like 2010s, maybe 2015s. Like he had a dip, and then because George Lopez had a recent resurgence with his new show, so that's the marker for me. Like, okay, so
Yeah.
this was written 2014, 2015, 2000, like that year maybe. I don't know.
And the only reason why I say that is too, because like obviously it was current based on jokes like that. But I just feel like whenever he was in his manager slash agent, like in that office, like her hairstyle were like 19 like 1970s. I don't know. I just feel like they purposely made you feel
yeah,
like you were in
and
like a
kind of the
twilight.
I think
golden era of Hollywood. I mean, the fact that it was westerns, right? That's like the whole like 50s, the typical western era. And then you have kind of art deco style going on in different architecture, and so I think it was playing with different moments in
Golden era.
Hollywood and stuff like that. And then I guess whenever cocaine was big in Hollywood, I'm not, it's not anymore,
Still,
right, guys? So
yeah, yeah. I just think it just this movie lives like as far as time, it lives kind of in a vacuum, like in its own
yeah,
world
Yeah.
of like it's current, but it goes through the eras, like
Hmm.
different
so
touches and evolutions. 'Cause it basically takes you on like a roller coaster of fame in a way.
yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. Anybody not realize that the one playing Christina that Latte ends up marrying, did it take you a moment to realize that was the actress in the movie? Like I didn't realize that was
Uh,
her
uh,
right
yeah,
away.
in the Western, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Well, yeah, in the movie, yeah, of the Western. I
yeah, yeah,
didn't
yeah.
because they had her like looking completely different, with like a blonde, long wig, like
yeah,
dirty
the wig,
blonde,
Kind
and
of
her
the wig.
MACA.
Angelina Jolie type, right? Because of the or maybe I'm wrong with that, but like then just adopting all these kids, like it was so bizarre. Like that whole bit was I'm going like again. They would start a bit, and you're like, oh, okay, this is it. This is pretty funny. Okay, all right, getting kind of forced to get married because you aren't saying
Yeah,
anything.
I lost my husband on when they got married. He's like, "I'm done watching this." He was like he was like he says, "I can't, like, what just happened?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna keep watching it, but I feel you."
Like a
But
publicity stunt. Everything is up for appearances. Everything is like not real. So they have this game of we have to keep up appearances and keep up with the media and publicity and audiences and whatever, and then they have their true selves. Like they're unhappy. They don't feel fulfilled. They don't feel that they're somebody. I think that was the major.
They
Ken,
adopted foreign kids.
yeah,
yeah, just because, but why did they do that? Because of
She
publicity.
said,
They
"Let
didn't
the nanny handle
do
it." He's trying to hug all of them and love them.
yeah,
exactly. So,
No, I love that like Latte Pronto. He always like went back to like well
the
at
land.
first honestly when it was like the scenes of like him walking around LA because of course I lived there. I just had like a lot of nostalgia because I was like,
Yeah.
Mhm.
oh damn, man, like I remember that. I recognize Echo Park. I see this.
It
I
was
love
Echo
that.
Park, all right. It was the lake.
Yeah, without
I,
the swans, they took them
I,
out.
I just want to
But
say, um, I'm watching the movie in the background right now, and one of the very early scenes takes place on the very block that me and Dino live on.
Yep.
yeah,
Ooh.
I was literally telling Andrea like I live very close to there. I'm like I was like 10 minutes from there. That's
I
Pershing
got
Square.
robbed. I got
That's
robbed there. Got my heart broke there.
yeah. I love
It's
him.
crazy
Eddie.
how many layers there are to this movie because like we haven't even talked about his publicist. Like and their relationship to me is my favorite, probably my favorite like um relationship with Ken. I suck
Ken
at last
Jong
names.
or
Huh?
Ken
Dr.
And,
Ken.
Jeong.
and Jeong,
Yo,
Dr.
Lenny.
Ken.
at first it was hard for me to accept that mustache.
Yeah.
Horrible, horrible
But again,
decision.
that's
I
where the
loved it. I thought it was
eras
perfect.
that's where the era's playing to, right? Like it's like is that current? Like is he doing that because he thinks that's cool right now, or is this character just the character that we
Stuck in
know
time.
from before? Yeah.
No,
Like
I
are we
know
just
that guy. I met that guy in Hollywood before. He exists. I assure you, he's real.
Yeah. Well, I grew to love him, and in the end, he was. I just loved their relationship. At first, I thought, I don't know. I went through such a
I,
roller coaster with him. Like, obviously, he had no connections whatsoever. Like, he had to pay the security guard, excuse me, to get into to the studio for $5. I didn't know it works like that, um, but yeah, I don't think I understood his intentions at first, and like he really I think he wanted to be an actor himself at one point, just based on
I mean
He wanted to be
he
somebody.
did for a porno.
He wanted to
I
be
was
somebody.
cracking up when he comes out. He was like, erotica, my that was a porno. Like, no kidding.
Oh my god.
What made you think that? That was
No, I really enjoyed also like the part when like he gets introduced with his new agency and they're breaking down the pay. Like that was amazing. Like that scene was absolutely amazing. Like
it was
I
real
take
life.
10%. This person takes 5. Whatever. This one's on a weekly. the
And then
the intern doesn't get paid. Oh, actually, well now.
The law intern, so he gets paid.
yeah, no more free internships. I love that.
Mm-hmm. Hey everybody. On living wage.
Jason, do you have any questions so far? Like a particular thing you want to know about this movie?
I mean, I'm speaking to 4 experts, so if I did, now would be the time. No, man, no. I kind of see. I will say this: I've watched very little of this film since you guys have been going on, but I love the opening scene. I think it's fantastic. It's so funny. It sets a great tone for the movie, and I'm very excited to see this film now. Um, I really am like Ken Jeong's like opening scene is so like funny and pitch perfect, and him just like you just know who this guy is right
Yeah.
away, right away. One like less than a half a scene, and you know who this guy is. But he's a shuckster. He's not, you just know it, and he's really fun to watch. So I hope there is a lot more of him in the movie.
He's
No,
a
I really
shuckster with
enjoyed
a
it.
heart of gold.
A lot of him and his energy drinks. I don't ever want to drink an energy drink again. Like,
He took the last grape.
You know, this movie gave me a lot of Bowfinger vibes also. I think this would be a great companion with Bowfinger, almost like uh, double feature, if you will, type of thing. And so I'd recommend that as well to watch it because it shows like some parts that people might not know, and then some parts that it's just like, yep, You know if you know. And I think this movie again it's got very mixed reviews, or actually more, I think, bad reviews than good. But I think over time, people are gonna definitely come around to it. I think it's just one of those movies that, from different misconceptions, is it the post-COVID type of lull that's going on? Is it the streamers like maybe typecasting Charlie and his more crazy aunt kind of characters? But I think this movie definitely has legs for days.
I'm so
Well,
glad
it
you
was
said about Bowfinger because I was literally I never saw that movie, but I heard of it, and I was like, the movie when Fool's Paradise first started, I'm like, "Oh, is this a remake of that?" Because I remember he finds a guy that looks like the guy, right? Because he couldn't hire
Yep,
him for his
yep.
movie. That's what I thought this was gonna be about, like maybe just like a rewrite or something. But it's different. But it definitely the first bit of it that made me, oh, this must be kind of based on that.
And it has
was this.
different.
I don't know if you know if it was this Charlie Day's first project, like directing and writing. I know he wrote in Always Sunny,
Yeah,
but is this
and
his
he and
first?
he's yes, for movie, yeah, for movie that's his first directorial and writing. But he
Oh,
had done those kind of jobs, I believe, in Sunny. I don't
And
know
he
if
also played
directing.
two characters.
Yeah,
stop spoiling. Why are you spoiling?
yeah.
He had multiple roles in the film. I don't know what you're talking about, but he had multiple roles.
I thought
And
that
one
it
of
was
them
pretty
was
funny,
hung.
like a joke about like how people really try to be method and they really take that word and like use it too hard. And
Oh
I'm
my
a method
god.
actor, and now he was a method actor. He methoded so hard. He did the hanging scene too well because he was a method actor. I was just like, this is
Yo,
so true. People just like,
yo, how about the co-star that stole his wife?
Yeah.
Yes, who's that?
Adrien
Who was
Brody.
that?
I know.
Ah,
So many
is that
layers.
like
Like we've been talking for like 30 minutes and we haven't even talked about every main
Wait, wait,
character.
wait. And for anybody, Marina, have you ever watched He's Always Sunny?
I haven't.
Okay,
I
Dino,
don't
you
know.
watched it, right?
Yeah.
Do you realize that Dennis made a cameo here?
Yeah.
It took me a while. It took me a while to recognize it was him, but I was like,
I d-
"What?"
yeah.
I haven't watched
Uh,
Sunny.
and also they all made it. I forget what Rob McElhenney what he
Wait,
popped
Rob was
in.
in the movie?
Yeah,
Are you a
they're
fan?
all in it. So is I believe Caitlin's also in it. I can't remember the
Bro,
rest
I
of.
did not know. I did not
Uh,
notice. I noticed Cricket. I noticed
yeah,
Dennis.
which, oh my God, yeah, we didn't get to that. The late night talk show host, like, and it's
That
Jimmy
was
The Jimmy
funny.
Simpson,
Fallon.
That was
Fallon.
Jimmy Fallon.
Jimmy Simpson. So it's just another freaking Jimmy with a late night talk show,
That
and
was funny.
it's so great, just like so over the top. And yeah, they all make a cameo, like everyone's in it. And apparently, from an interview, it might have been on Conan's podcast, and if not, it was in the Sunny one. But originally, Ray Liotta character was going to be Danny DeVito, and I think due to like scheduling or whatever, he was like, nope. And I think he put him on to Ray Liotta, which is again amazing to get Ray Liotta, especially like doing certain actors doing comedies is refreshing to watch, right? When you're kind of, again, similar thing with what might be happening with Charlie Day and other comedians that are just kind of like, all right, this is where you have to be. So yeah, the more we talk again, I'm like, man, this is, yeah, I'm gonna have to go and watch this again. But like, and it's always not even like his fault. Like, not, like Adrien Brody, like he's the one shooting guns and driving, and then he gets arrested, and it's not even his fault. But then that's used kind of like yeah, it's, oh
Talk about
man,
knowing that guy. Like I feel like we've all met Adrien Brody's character, like that I'm so untouchable. Maybe I have an alcohol problem, maybe I don't.
Well,
Rich
I think what
guy.
I don't know if this was also intentional, but I wonder if they were uh if he was getting certain actors to play like against their type almost, right? Or especially because this is about Hollywood, so it's
John Malkovich played to his strength.
yeah. But like an Adrian Brody, like you don't hear about all his like shenanigans or whatever, and so you put him in this role that you aren't like necessarily expecting him to go off on, right? So, but that's just something also when I was watching, I was thinking of like certain characters, what were, were they purposely picking on it? Was there also Scientology involved at one moment or another? Did the like
I,
small kind
I
of
didn't
You
jab
would
on
know.
it? I would know. I thought Jason popped in like, actually, yeah, let me talk to you about it.
I'm trying to
Have you guys
think.
accepted Ron L. Hubbard as your Lord and Savior?
No, thank you. That's what I always say when I'm walking down the
See
street.
them
No, thank you. Um,
quietly. But
but yeah, I can
Yo, that
definitely see that with the booking them something different because like I can never see like Jason Bateman like working in production.
oh, it's
He's
funny.
special effects tech over here.
He
Yeah.
was a guy trying to be an AC, trying to be an AD, trying to move up those ranks. I appreciated him, his hustle.
It was so funny when that guy kept giving the director tips. He's like, let me direct, please. Like it was just it
Yeah,
was
it's Jason
so
Bateman. But Jason Sudeikis, I think he was my favorite cameo. Like overall, his comedic timing and his presence is so hilarious. So hilarious.
I just love the fact that he looked like Tom Cruise.
His beard was so awful, man. So awful. Like, oh, it's charming.
I feel like the wardrobe and like makeup and stuff must have
Was
had a blast in
purposely
this.
bad.
And must have had a blast with this movie, of just like we can what? We can just screw around or like we can really because some of them I was like, oh shit, like that looks really good or
and
that
the
like
category
really
is
fits.
douchebag. Like that's everybody. It
Yeah.
really everybody.
Cause
Yes.
makeup artists, they're like working those chairs, working the people, so they're like, oh yeah, I know what I'm doing. Oh yeah, like
I remember that. Oh, this is the character.
yeah. Like you
Mustache.
need it, yeah.
Yeah, no. Um,
The
I
set
think they had
dynamic
a lot
too.
of inside jokes for the industry people, for like the
Yeah.
PA jokes for the chairs. It was so funny with the script and the script supervisor. They had a lot of industry jokes. You could tell it like somebody that is on a set constantly wrote this because it was like a lot of inside jokes that if you're not in it, you maybe wouldn't catch them. So it was nice to watch that aspect too.
And
Mhm.
I love the aspect that he just kept going back to the bench, to the
He's like, I just want to be. That's so much more peaceful. I like the set jokes too. Like when the second AD came in to try to get him from hair and makeup, they're like, okay, great. And then when she walked away, she's the worst person in the world. Like nobody likes the second AD because they have to like keep everybody in check for time so they don't like film over. It was so funny. The chairs was funny too. Um, him never getting crafty was very hilarious. He was
So
so
bad. Oh, they had a couple YouTubers. I think the second AD was a Lisa Schwartz. I watch a lot of YouTube, so I could watch like, oh, she's a YouTuber, or he like an influencer type was the one that was like very, este, ¿cómo se dice? Filled.
Oh
Do
yeah, they
that
made like
again.
a joke about getting work done in Hollywood.
Yeah.
I think it was like an influencer type or YouTuber. I've seen them like in social media.
I feel like I've seen
So they
him
had
too.
like, I think they called a lot of papers.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, is there anything, Jason, that you want to ask or any other of the cast people before we go into final thoughts?
Oh yeah, you
No,
ask
nothing I
ask.
want to ask, but I will say seeing Ray Liotta in this film in this Porsche makes me want to drive a Porsche around LA real bad. That's
Mm.
all I got for you.
All right.
What was his role? He was too cool for school. What was he? Who was he to him?
Producer, right? Just producer guy or director,
But he,
or
Big guy.
Es que lo
or was
contrató
he a
porque
I think he was
studio
the producer.
president? Not
I
or
think he was the
studio head?
producer.
but he said he quit, and
Is
right, he
this
never.
his last movie?
Yeah. Well, this and Cocaine Bear, I guess. Although he filmed this
Okay, where?
way before Ray Liotta. He's in Cocaine Bear.
I
Wow.
haven't seen it yet
He's
because
in it. I
I
don't
Um,
want to
think
make
we
fun.
started filming in 2018, right? So I don't. It took a
so
while to come.
Charlie Day said that it got filmed way before, and that he did get Ray Liotta to see a finished version of it, but not because he even said he brought Ray Liotta in and kind of asked him, I guess, either for I think what he thought of certain cuts or whatever. So got like advice from him, if I'm not mistaken. But so, but he did pass away. What, like a month before it came out? No, 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 that's a lie. That was, I think, the another movie. But yeah,
I just went down. I was curious about Cocaine Bear when it was filmed and stuff, but I gotta watch it now. I
oh,
just
that was good.
realized the guy who makes all those the guy who makes all those TikToks about like working at a furniture store and like people asking dumb questions. He's in that movie. So it's cool. He got like a movie job
Oh,
from that.
Oh,
He's always like,
yes.
"Yeah, Karen, I don't care if you don't come back. Da, 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 da. I'm off at 5 o'clock."
Yes,
I
I
don't
know who
know.
you're
I
talking
don't.
about. Oh,
No,
yeah,
I
yeah.
have
He
no
makes some
idea.
funny TikToks.
I
Got
know
Who
you're
was he
talking
the
in?
about that guy's hilarious.
yeah.
Who
It's
was
always
He's
he
in
like
in
this movie.
the
Cocaine?
He's in this movie.
No, no, no.
In
He's
the
in
Cocaine
Cocaine
Bear.
Bear.
no. He's in
Oh,
Cocaine Bear. Sorry, guys. We'll watch that another time.
I
It's a
think
good movie.
that one.
we got to do cocaine.
I know. I was gonna say. I was like, I don't.
Can't be a cocaine bear without cocaine.
Yeah.
well,
Salud. Yo.
Dino, you were gonna say something, or we're gonna go into final thoughts.
Just I think final thoughts. Yo.
Let's go into final thoughts, yo. Let's start with Andrea.
Hmm. Yo, super caught off guard. Well, final thoughts. I enjoyed the movie. People who are in the industry, the film industry, would also enjoy the movie. All the inside jokes. It was a great presentation for Charlie Day as a writer, director, and starring in the film. So if you enjoy Charlie Day, his comedy, his writing style, his acting, I think you will enjoy the film. If you enjoy Ken Jeong, all his beauty and all his acting skills, you would enjoy the movie as well. So, yeah, good movie.
Thank you so much, Andrea. Let's go with Marina.
So, final thoughts. I feel like this movie was Hot Mess Express, but in a good way. Like I enjoyed all the mess. I honestly feel like we didn't even talk about everything. Like that's how much this movie has to offer. I feel like it's one of those movies you can watch a few times and you'll probably see new jokes. Um, yeah, I think movies nowadays are like going through this, they're being shot like in a very like slow but fast way, and I'm really learning to love that a lot more because I think I forget if it's Hotel Budapest, is that the name of the movie? There was a movie, um there's a movie that came out a couple years ago where I feel like it started transitioning into that, like this very like almost theater like transitions. um I didn't I haven't always liked that style, but I'm growing to like it more, and this movie was like a good example of it being done well. um But yeah, recommending wise, I'd recommend it to Jason. But I would also recommend it to anybody that um, understands Hollywood. Anyone that's been ever frustrated with Hollywood, it's a good movie to kind of like be like, oh wow, I'm not alone in my thoughts on how things are. But also, if you were a fan of like silent films, there's a lot of little mime like things that they took from silent films that I really enjoyed. Um, Especially the scene where he's like in the photo booth and he literally does this. It was like I feel like that was a play on like how mimes do like, oh, I'm stuck in a box. But yeah, anybody who enjoys like those kind of films, I think they'd really enjoy this. And I'm definitely gonna watch it again to see if there's anything I missed or to just understand certain jokes more now that I've discussed it with you guys.
Thank you so much, Marina. Let's go with you, Steve. Thank you so much, Steve, from the past. It's me, Steve, from the future. I'm gonna say um, this movie is kind of like one of those that is like the gift that keeps on giving, because I feel like the more you watch this movie, mindful, I only watched it one time, but the more you watch this movie, you start to see little nuances and little things that you didn't notice before. Um, I would love to see the process of just making this film, because he basically wrote a movie where the majority, if not the entire movie, he's just reacting to what's happening to him. And it's a great perspective of the industry, and it's a great perspective of a lot of really good things about just how someone as a fly in the wall that doesn't know anything about how the inner works and things about uh, the industry itself over there in Hollywood uh, happens to be. And honestly, the cameos and all that stuff makes it even better. I didn't feel at any given point of the movie that the movie dragged on or it was too long or anything. I think it was perfect. The pacing was great. The cinematography was amazing. The cameos were so freaking great. Uh, and yeah, honestly, like I'm very thankful for Dino um,
Woohoo!
to like
One
put this
person.
movie in my radar, because me being a, like an It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia fan, this never came across, because I don't know, maybe the advertising, the marketing, I don't know, it didn't hit me or something. But I'm so glad I watched this film. It honestly, it inspired me for like the types of films I always dreamed of making. This is kinda in that realm. Uh, when it comes to originality, how it looks, the ideas, all that stuff. Like I really enjoyed it. That's my final thought. I will recommend it to Jason and anybody else that loves films. Dino, let's go with you with your final thoughts.
I'm gonna hurry because it's starting to rain outside, and I think I left my camera and iPad and stuff. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I'm glad you liked it. I wanted to talk to more people about this movie, just because, again, I feel like it hasn't been, it didn't get the love and the flowers or roses, whatever, as I feel like it deserves, just because so much went into it. And again, I think did Marina say like, or maybe it was you, Steve. Just the more you kind of watch it, there are all these small things that pop up left and right. So it's almost one of those like, next time I see that it's on or stuff like that, I'm gonna watch it. And it's also, I think, a great movie that can just be in the background, right? We bring that up sometimes also, like what movie is a good movie that you can even have. He's silent, but what movie is a good movie you can just have in the background without the sound on, right? And I think this movie is one of those as well, because there's just all this action, all this commotion going around, and you can just see the world through his eyes. And yeah, so I enjoyed this movie immensely, and I hope more people watch it. And I hope you finish it, Jason.
Yeah, yeah, I think I will be finishing this without a doubt. I'm all in. This is very funny. I don't know why I haven't heard about this before. Hopefully, it ends well. Uh, so I guess I have one question that you guys didn't really cover in this, and that's Steve. What do you got for us next week?
Next week, well, before I tell you about next week, I'm going to tell you about 2 weeks from today. 2 weeks from today, we're going to have Marina host Cinema Club for her second time ever. And she has special requests. What are those, Marina?
So, should I say the special request first or the movie first?
Well, I mean, however you want. You're the person. Go ahead.
Okay. So, my request is for everyone to wear pink.
Done. Period. Yeah.
Whether it's a note of pink or it's a full shirt of pink, because we are watching Mean Girls.
Okay.
I decided to spice it up because you guys give me all these bro movies, so we are gonna watch something girly.
Nice.
There we go. And also
All
for
right.
next week, that's in 2 weeks from today, we're all going to wear pink and we're going to review Mean Girls. For next week, though, because we're still going to do next week, this time we're going to go with a shorter movie. That way we can get together as a family, the people that can get together. And I'm going to make sure that some old members also do some participation. And we're going to review the movie, the short movie, Along Came a Callback. It is Jason Eccles' film. He wrote it, directed, and starred in this movie. And I
I'm
thought it
not
was,
going to participate in that one.
come on, man, you gotta participate. You gotta participate. Come on.
All right.
We'll never hear from Jason ever again. And
So
if
there you
not,
go.
if not, I can tell you all the dirty little secrets that was happening in the background of that making of that movie. Woo!
Ooh, there you
I
go.
can't
So
wait
for,
to hear that. I can't wait to hear that. That's the footage.
so
That's the content I'm here for.
Jason's
as a
gonna be like,
TMC part.
I'm sick.
Really poor.
So for Jason Nichols, El Dondino, Marina, Andrea, and Steve, we'll catch you next week. Bye bye.
Bye, guys.